And we're back!
Hello.
So, we decided to do it. We went to basically the voice actor dealership and we decided to trade in one Matt for a Seb. So now I think we're good to continue. We might be able to
Yep.
get the Matt back in the future. Who knows?
Yeah. We've lent Matt out on long-term loan.
Yeah, he's on
We
loan.
traded him. To use a baseball analogy, we traded him in the mid-season trade deadline,
Oh dear.
but we might give him a new contract at the end of the year.
No sports ball allowed.
Aww.
Nope.
Yeehaw River feeds Emma Lake from the north. Okay, I'm not clicked into the game. There we go. I'm clicked into the game now.
Yay.
It's a farther drive than the lake itself, but it does have a few nice clearings along the edge. One of them has a few benches and a rusted to hell public grill that I'm sure no one has used in decades. This is the place that we go.
Let's see.
As we're unloading Leo's van, I decide to get the B-roll of the lake right away. It won't have as much of a presence in the packet, so I think I'm just going to narrate over it later. The actual lake is only a few minutes walk from here. It's a bit difficult navigating around the sagebrush, and I know I'm going to have to check for ticks later. By the time I reach the lawn, I cannot read. I'm illiterate today. By the time I reach the lake, my friends are pretty far behind me, hidden behind a few bends and hills. I'm getting uncomfortable with the idea of me holding this camera while I navigate this terrain. It probably would have been better if Leo had just parked the car next to the reservoir while I got out to film, but I guess even that still wasn't okay. My gosh, why do people keep messaging me?
You're just that popular.
We just started again.
Very
I got a
popular.
message. No.
Popular.
There's the large square of paved ground next to the parking lot now, several benches, and a row of brand new grills. Several lamps have been erected around the area too. Neil was right about the town trying to turn the reservoir into a recreational spot. I can actually see a few jet boats skimming through the water, leaving long trails of white behind them. There's even what looks like a feline of some sort fishing in the shallows. It would explain why the motel still is in business. Lake Emma is fairly small, only about 12 miles long and 5 wide. I look around before climbing to the top of the nearby hill and get my shots. Even with a few people here, it's still pretty quiet. Aside from the train horns, it's kind of eerie. I wrap up and start to quickly make my way back. It's hard to explain why I'm getting freaked out in broad daylight with people around. Either it's because of what happened all those years ago, or I'm just psyching myself out. I'm glad to hear my friends' voices again as I get closer. Then again, it sounds like they're fighting.
Been acting like a dick all day.
I'm glad
Wow.
I came here at all.
Apparently, it would have been better if you hadn't.
Maybe I just should fucking leave then.
It sounds a lot more serious than our usual squabbles, so I quicken my pace. They seem to quiet down a bit once they see me coming. TJ's off to the side, looking out over the river, occasionally throwing a rock into it. Carl sits in a lawn chair, one of 6 that have been set out in a semicircle. He has his chin on a fist as he lazily stares at me. Jenna and Leo both stand next to each other, looking at Flynn, who's got his back turned, rummaging through the cooler. Hey, what's wrong? Leo sighs.
Nothing. You get your film?
Yeah, got it. The silence is still awkward, and I have no idea what the hell to do with myself. I finally realize that I'm still holding the camera, and decide to put that away. Hey, I'm gonna go for a quick swim. Haven't been in water for a while. When we first got here, I was completely disappointed to find that the motel didn't have its own swimming pool. Being an otter, I'd like to swim at least once a day, if not more. At this point, it had been 3. Flynn finally turns around, a beer in his hand, as he cracks it open. It was true that he'd been acting a bit strange today. He held the entire trip up by a few hours, and when he finally shown up, his eyes were bleary, and he seemed sluggish, like he'd been up all night. When we asked if he was all right, he brushed us off.
Yeah, thanks for the help setting up, Chase. You're about as useful as this fat ass here.
He swings the paw holding the beer at Carl.
Flynn.
So enjoy that swim while I set everything out.
Yeah, I will. Make my soda a diet while you're at it. I've had it with Flynn. He's souring the trip with his need to be an asshole.
Go fuck yourself.
I ignore him as I strip off my shirt and head to the riverbank. I pat TJ on the shoulder as I pass him before slipping into the water. We're currently in the middle of a drought that has lasted the past 3 years, so the water is low, only about 10 feet at its deepest. It's enough though, and God, it feels good. It's spring, so the water is pretty cold. I swim back and forth a few times before finally diving in. Eventually, I settle on drifting to the bottom, laying and gripping onto the rocky floor as I stare up at the shimmering light above me. I feel the gentle current run over my body. It's nice to be away from all the tension above me. I feel isolated, alone, and for now, that feels good. Only I could come down this deep, and the others not being able to hold their breath as long, or being too little. I remember when we were younger, I would give the others rides around the lake, being able to swim nearly half a mile and back. Even Flynn the asshole had done it a few times. It was the one skill that I had that I was proud of, even if it was inherent to my species. It still made me somehow useful, or at least different from everyone else, in a good way. I always felt like the odd one out in the group, as strange as it sounds. Where everyone else has a strong, distinct personality, I was just average? Sometimes I wonder if they were just friends with me because we all had to be when we were younger. This whole trip has kind of forced me to think back on all the memories I have of this place, and my friends. They were always doing the cool things, being different, while I just sort of blended into the background. Even then, I wanted to do something, to stand out somehow. That's what I'm trying to do here, I guess. It's been about 7 minutes, and I only know that because that's about as long as I can hold my breath. I decide I should go back up and help out, so I slowly let myself float back up towards the surface, trying to stay in the same spot. When I surface, it's pretty quiet. For a second, I wonder if everyone is just gone. Of course, that's ridiculous, and as I come over to the embankment, everyone's there. Predictably, Flynn didn't get my food out, so I go to the cooler to grab a sandwich and a soda before sitting in an empty chair next to Leo. Apparently, it was a good idea to bring lawn chairs, considering the tables looked like they were covering a year's worth of bird shit.
How was the swim?
His tone is bitter and salty. He's not in his usual grumpy but good-natured mood. He's genuinely unhappy. What the hell was his deal? Amazing. I'm gonna have to come back here again sometime during the week. You lizard people don't understand. You hardly ever need water.
It always scares the hell out of me when you're down there that long.
I'm built for it.
Remember when you give us rides? That was fun.
Remember when you'd always scream like a girl when Chase would go out too far?
Oh wow, I remember that now.
Hey, I've never really liked water. Anyway, Chase would do it on purpose. He knew I didn't like it out to a certain point.
Carl looks at me.
You know what was really cool was when you'd take us down for a dive.
Oh yeah. Chase was like her own little submarine.
I'm starting to get that otters are swimming clowns vibe again. Still, I kind of enjoy this attention.
We'd get you to take us to the bottom so we could look for treasure.
Leo makes air quotes around the last word. And you know, we probably would have found way more stuff if you guys hadn't been dragging me down. I remember when...
Are we really fucking talking about this?
Everyone turns to look at Flynn. His voice is low and dangerous. There's a chill in the air because we all know what he means. I was actually feeling pretty good about it at this point, like we crossed a bridge, being able to talk about it for once. Apparently, we hadn't.
Flynn,
No, I'm serious. Do you think it's okay to fucking talk about this while the lake is just a quarter mile that way?
You know what, Flynn? I think we should. Isn't that part of the reason why we're here?
No! If that were the case, we'd be over there. We're here. And why is that?
Everyone's quiet for a moment. I see TJ shrink into his chair, staring hard at his lap.
Flynn, we came here because Chase needed footage.
A change comes over Flynn. His face darkens, and everyone senses it. Flynn turns to me, and it takes some effort not to flinch back.
Yeah, and why is that, Chase? You gonna put that in your fucking documentary?
No, Emma Lake is an important part of Echo's history.
Just what?
Flynn raises a brow ridge at me, and finally, I just lower my eyes.
This was a stupid fucking idea.
You know what, Flynn? If you'd be a little more open, tell us what's on your mind, we'd be able to avoid a lot of this kind of stuff.
Oh, you want to know what's on my mind?
Just so you know, this is Flynn's big moment at the beginning of the game for you, Sebastian, so be ready.
Sick.
Flynn swivels and marches up to Carl.
Alright, let's start with you. You're fat, lazy, no motivation, no future. What the hell are you planning on doing with your life? Sit here, waste away in Echo, mooching off your parents until you're dead?
Carl stares back up at Flynn impassively, though he hunches in on himself a bit further.
Flynn, don't do this right now.
And you think you're better than everyone else. I can tell you think everyone in Echo is trash. Just because me and the others haven't left, you think we're lower than you? Just because we don't have an education, we're a bunch of retards? Yeah. When you left, well, you left your whole fucking family behind without even saying goodbye. You know what's even going on with them right now? What they're dealing with? Yeah, real fucking hero you are.
You think
Stop it, Flynn.
Ah, our unquestionable leader. We wouldn't have been friends without you, would we? That's why you brought us here, right? So we could all bond? Or, wait, was it just because you wanted to get into Chase's pants?
Neo's ears fall flat.
Probably. You've been a mess ever since he left, so let me be the one to tell you. It's over. It's fucking unhealthy, you're obsessed with him.
Slowly, his head turns to me, and I brace myself.
And I can't imagine why. You, Chase, have the personality of a fucking rock. I wish you could see yourself. You just sit there like a creep, watching everyone, weighing everything that we say. And don't think I haven't caught the way you stare at all of us, like we're all objects to be collected. What, are you planning to just cycle through all of us for sex? Sure seems like it.
Flynn stops, then exhales. It seems like it's over. I really hope it is. That proves futile, though, as Flynn turns slowly on TJ. I had silently prayed that the Lynx would make a run for it, while Flynn had all of his attention focused on us. But TJ looks apathetic. Like a statue. There's no soul in him. Flynn pauses, though, as if he's at a loss for what to say. Finally.
What happened, TJ?
Flynn,
Leo stands up, and from his posture, I can tell the wolf is ready to fight. Memories are starting to flow back. TJ, Flynn thinking he had done something too. I stand up too. Flynn may sound like a hard ass, but physically Leo can beat him, easily. Flynn can obviously tell that he might have a fight on his hand. Though, and it's clear he doesn't want that. He drops his shoulders, seeming to shrink, as if invisible strings that had been holding him up will cut. He turns to us, then gestures at TJ.
I just want the truth. Can we just put a stop to this today, right now? I don't think you know how much of a nightmare this has been for me. Not really knowing TJ.
TJ stares up at Flynn, muzzle set grimly.
What happened to Sydney?
It's dead quiet. TJ stares at his lap, not moving. Come on, let's... Flynn holds up a hand towards me, still staring at TJ. Slowly, TJ looks up, his face still stoic, still made of stone.
I already told you what happened.
Oh shit.
Flynn steps forward, but Leo's there to grab the back of Flynn's shirt and swing him around. I dodge out of the way as Flynn is flung back to land on his ass, kicking up a big cloud of dust.
What?
Flynn, I swear to God, if you start a fight here, I'll drop your stupid ass.
Everyone except TJ is standing now, staring at Flynn. Flynn sits there, glaring up at Leo, obviously weighing his chances. He seems to come up short though, as he spits to the side, stands up, brushing off his pants as he turns away.
You're all okay with not knowing? Fuck off.
He turns back around, hands in pockets, a bitter look on his face.
This whole thing was stupid, Leo. We're not even friends anymore.
Flynn scuffs the ground before turning and walking towards the trail, back to Echo.
God damn it, Flynn.
Fuck off!
Flynn keeps walking, and it's pretty clear that he isn't coming back. I raise a paw and rub it over my eyes. What was he doing? He's a passionate guy that will sometimes just explode with all of his insecurities before running away and hiding for a few days. He'd skewered all of us like that before. That was classic Flynn. But he was especially mean, dark. And the part with TJ, I vaguely remember Flynn having some sort of suspicion, but that had been a long time ago. Had he been sitting on that this whole time? I look to the left and see that TJ's gone. Carl's still sitting down, but now it looks like he's pulling out a joint. Leo's walking off down another trail, cursing, while Jenna follows him. I stand there, next to my chair, undecided. And this is where the game actually splits. So like I said, there wasn't that much in there. I knew that we were able to get that done, so... So, what I was reading online, there is a preferred, there's a recommended way to play the game, which I'm trying to find my notes on that. I wrote those down somewhere. That's not my notes. That's also not my notes. Okay, here we go. The first route that you're supposed to do is Carl, then you go to Leo, then you do a side game called Route 65, then you go back for TJ, then you do Flynn, and then you end with Jenna.
Huh. So there's a very specific order that they recommend you doing it?
That's supposedly like the one that the creators of the game say is the most narratively satisfying in their opinion, but technically this is a branch that you can go down any branch on. You're not actually locked off on anything.
Okay.
I'll be honest, Carl is one of... I don't... As a character, Carl is the one that interests me the least. But that is also the narrative story. So... I'm not quite sure what to say on that.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd say for me personally, I'm fine with going the route that they recommend as like the more narratively satisfying one.
So
but-
I have another idea though. the game goes through an entire week, right? So
Yeah.
we could also just kind of bounce back and forth between all of them.
We could do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of
Yeah,
thing.
we could do that. It might not be what they recommend, but it would be still a unique way to see the story.
Suppose,
Yeah.
yeah.
It would also allow us to go oh, well, we don't have the person that we want to have voice this character right now. So since we don't have Matt for Carl, we could come back for Carl. Or we don't have Sam for TJ, so we could come back for that. For right now, we could do either Flynn, Jenna, or Leo, you know?
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, I like that. If it's for what we do, so.
I'll go ahead and... Oh, that means I'm going to have to prep a lot of stuff then on my end. I'll do it, though. I think it'll be fun. All right, I'm going to go ahead and quickly save, though. So we'll save right over the July 27th one. There we go. So... Now I'm no longer undecided. I have to pick between one of two options because the other two kind of don't work for our group right now. So I did actually check a little bit of Flynn's because I was kind of curious about that one. Though we could see what happens on the Jenna and Leo route. I just have to say I don't know what goes on the Jenna and Leo one. I never even checked it.
They could do the flood one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So,
So
you can be like, Flynn, you fucker, get back over here.
it's going to be focusing a lot on Flynn and Chase then, and there are other NPCs that will show up. So I think that you guys will want to voice the other NPCs while the rest of the gang isn't there. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Your mouse is an anchor.
Yep. Because remember, the anchor, the thing that keeps that makes you feel like you're sinking in Echo. But it's also a representation of your bond with Leo. The anchor represents a lot of things, unfortunately, in this game, from what I've been learning.
Sounds like it.
I look back at Flynn as he winds his way down the trail towards the road. I sigh angrily, starting towards him.
I wouldn't.
Someone's got to talk sense into that idiot. He thinks he can just get away with this shit?
You know how he is.
I keep walking. He's moving pretty slow, so it's easy to catch up with him. He's got his hands jammed into his pockets as he walks along, his head down. Hey, Flynn! He jerks his head up, and then looks back around at me. He's chewing on a toothpick, which he promptly pulls out of his muzzle.
Hell! What the fuck do you think you're doing, Chase? Go back.
Yeah, right. You think you can just walk away from me after saying shit like that? He starts walking and turns around fully to face me. I step right up in front of him, just a few feet away. He looks me over, and for some reason, I can see a smile threatening to crack his face as he tries to keep it hidden.
Yeah? What are you gonna do about it?
I shrug. Talk? We were having a good time. Why'd you have to go around and turn everything good? He suddenly steps closer, thrusting his chest into me. It hits me around the neck and I stumble back.
Not in the mood.
He sticks the toothpick back in his muzzle before he turns and starts walking away again.
Go back to the river so you can talk all about what an asshole I am.
What? I watch him go for a bit. I'm not too worried about Flynn actually beating me up. I'm annoyed. I've annoyed him pretty bad before, but he hadn't ever actually hurt me, at least not maliciously. On top of that, he'd have Leo to answer to if he ever did anything like that, and he knows how that would end up. Still, he did look pretty angry when he stepped towards TJ. More than I'd ever seen him, probably. Now might not be the best time to do this. So this is your chance to back away from this route, or...
You just turn back and be like, you fucker. Bye.
It's like, I'm not dealing with this
I
shit.
don't want to be in this game anymore. Keep going then?
Keep going.
Alright. Screw him. Once again, he thinks the act of an asshole can just brush off whoever he doesn't want to talk to. Well, I'm about to show him exactly why that doesn't work when it's a stubborn otter he's up against. I start following again, doing a little jog to catch up. This time, Flynn hears me and whirls around, pulling the toothpick out of his mouth again.
Your ears filled with water? I said fuck off!
I flinch a little under his yelling, but I square my shoulders and walk up to him, standing my ground. Now I'm only 3 feet away. Or what? You gonna hit me? Really? Go on, try it. I look him in the eye, and immediately I know I have nothing to worry about. This is Flynn, after all, one of my best friends. Whether or not he'd ever admit it, our little group is family, no matter how many stupid fights we get into. He's trying to scare me, though, with the way he's leaning over me, glaring. I just smirk up at him, and pretty soon, I see his facade crack. He slumps down, letting out one massive sigh, deflating like a life-sized lizard balloon.
Fucking otters. What do you want?
I want you to stop being a dick. Flynn looks right back at me and glares, some of the posturing coming back.
What?
Oh Christ, you heard me.
That is not a good thing to say to me right now.
Flynn starts leaning over me again, and I lean right back, almost bumping muzzles. Yeah, well, everything you said back there was not a good thing to say. I see the corner of his eye twitch. We're so close I could smell the beer on his breath. I see the smirk tug at his muzzle again.
Coming in for a kiss?
He presses even closer, and I feel my muzzle flush, but I'm not backing down.
I see how it is. You're bored with Leo, and now you want some lizard action, eh?
No, I just want an explanation. He raises a brow and leans back a little. Of why you're being such a dick when we're all supposed to be having fun.
Actually, I think I know exactly what it is. You're trying to prove me wrong. Well, being an obnoxious twit doesn't suddenly mean you've got a personality. Anyway, they told me to speak my mind. I did.
He turns away again and starts walking. I quickly catch up and start walking alongside him. That's not an answer. Besides, even if something's true, it doesn't mean you have to point it out in the middle of everyone's vacation. Flynn keeps walking, opting to glare at the dusty trail. Do you really think I'm just looking to bone all of you? I'm not. Flynn laughs, and for once, it's not cynical. It's genuine.
I think what you're doing right now isn't helping your case, Chase.
What? I'm just trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with you, Flynn. My phone buzzes, and I pull it out.
Are you okay?
It's a text from Leo. Everything is fine, and I'm just trying to talk to Flynn. Flynn snorts right in my ear, making me jump. I jerk my phone away as I realize he's been reading over my shoulder.
What? Wolfie Boy thinks I'm gonna clock you for being annoying?
You almost hit TJ.
Almost.
At this point, we're walking along Lake Emma Road, the trail winding between it and the reservoir itself. There's a little guardrail on the lakeside, but it's rusty, and I seriously doubt it would stop any car from going over into the lake. Another 10 minutes, and we reach the motel. My phone buzzes again as I get a response from Leo.
If he does anything, call me.
Flynn sighs again. He stops, and I turn to face him. He looks sad, for once, staring hard at the ground.
I just sort of blacked out for a second. I was angry.
That's what murderers say after they kill their exes?
Jesus, Chase. Well, okay. I fucked up.
Yeah, no shit.
It's just something that's been fucking with me ever since it happened. That it's not telling the truth.
Flynn looks up at me sharply, Wow, I cannot speak. Flynn looks up at me sharply.
You know he isn't.
Flynn's staring at me hard, as if he's looking for something, and this time, I do look away. What if he is?
No, you saw him right after it happened. How scared he was. How he couldn't look at any of us.
I have no idea what to say. Flynn never talks about this. Before today, the last time I heard him mention Sydney was like 6 years ago.
It just really fucked me up. And that we thought we could just come back to this fucking stupid lake.
He kicks his foot across the ground towards the reservoir, some pebbles falling over the steep drop and plopping into the water. It fucked us all up, but Flynn most of all. Look, Flynn, maybe something did happen. Something he doesn't want to tell us. But it's TJ. You know what kind of person he is.
That's what makes this so fucking shitty.
But we were kids. He was like 10 years old. We're different people now. Looking behind Flynn, I see Leo's van coming up from the road. Flynn waits for me to go on, but sees me looking back, and does so himself. And as soon as he sees the van, he folds his arms and turns his head to look out across the lake. As it pulls up alongside us, the windows roll down, and I see Jenna in the passenger seat, Leo next to her.
Hey, we're heading back. Want to get in?
Flynn doesn't say anything, instead choosing to continue staring at the lake. I decide it's probably a good idea for me to walk with him, instead of making him do it alone. Nah, that's alright. We're just talking. Leo shifts his gaze to Flynn, studying him before turning back to me.
Alright, text me later, okay?
Okay. The windows roll back up as the van pulls away, kicking up some dust from the roadside as it does. I turn back to Flynn, who was still looking at the lake, chewing slowly on his toothpick. That's when his stomach growls so loudly, it almost makes me jump. I snort, and Flynn fixes me with a glare.
What? I didn't get to eat.
Neither did I. Which is your fault. Flynn grunts and keeps walking up the trail toward Echo, the town's windows and rusted signs glinting in the desert haze. I skip up alongside him. Hey, why don't we go to the diner? It's just a few minutes away. Flynn grimaces.
Can't eat that shit anymore.
What? When's the last time you ate there?
A few years ago.
Wow, what do you eat then? Flynn laughs.
I go to Peyton where they actually have grocery stores.
Oh, okay. A few moments of silence pass before Flynn speaks up again.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to eat there again, for old time's sake.
As we walk into the diner, my senses are assaulted by nostalgia. Everything looks and smells the same, from the faded, patched stools to the smell of burgers and fries. Out of habit, I start walking towards the towards the corner booth, the one we always used to sit at.
Where are you going?
Huh? I look back at Flynn, who's standing near the counter, looking ready to sit in one of the stools. Oh, come on, Flynn. Those are uncomfortable. Besides, it'll be easier to talk. Some of the patrons are starting to look up from their meals. Flynn looks around, clearly embarrassed, and shoves his hands into his pockets, making his way over to me.
Fine.
I slide into the booth. It's my usual spot on the right-hand side. Usually Leo would sit next to me. Flynn sits opposite me, leaning back, eyes half open. Tired?
Yep.
I wait for him to elaborate, but he doesn't go on. Up late? Flynn reaches up and rubs his eyes.
Yeah.
The long breath he takes in before he says that tells me he's starting to get annoyed, so I drop it. Luckily, that's when Janice, the old diner waitress, comes over to our table. Hannah, guess what? It's another female character!
Yay!
The second one in the entire novel that I know of.
Chase? My goodness, what are you doing here?
Hi, Janice. We're just doing I'm just doing a school project.
Oh, really? I wonder what sort of schooling might be here for you.
I'm actually getting some film of the town. Flynn's covering both his eyes with his hands now, as if to make him invisible.
And you, Flynn? Can't say I've seen you at all recently.
Flynn makes a low grunting sound, not taking his hands away. Janice keeps talking though, unfazed.
Well, anything you'd like to drink while you're deciding on your meal?
Water.
Chase?
What do we want to drink?
I want a root beer float. Or strawberry shake, man.
Yeah, I was thinking strawberry shake too.
That sounds awesome. I want a strawberry shake. Can I have a strawberry shake?
Alright, well, we got 2
Yeah,
votes
that
for strawberry
sounds
shake.
That's fine.
What were you weighing, Seb?
It's just anything really.
Okay, then strawberry shake it is. I'll have the strawberry shake.
Sure thing.
Flynn does move his hands at this point and looks at me. His expression is odd, like he wants to say something. I look back and raise my brows, but he just shuts his muzzle and looks out the window.
All right, I'll be right back with you.
As Janice moves on to some other patrons, I look back at Flynn. Were you gonna say something? Flynn shakes his head, folding his arms on the table and hunching forward.
No.
Somehow his mood is even darker than it was earlier. I sigh, frustrated. It's so damn hard to understand Flynn. His mood swings are absolutely ridiculous. I lean back, folding my arms, scowling.
What?
You know exactly what. I'm trying to be friendly here. Flynn shrugs, a bewildered expression on his face.
I don't know what to say, Chase. It's been a shitty day.
I don't say anything and just look out the window like Flynn. Again, there's a tense silence between us. I just listen to the clatter of silverware from the other 2 people in the diner, along with the old rockabilly music playing over the crackly speakers. Finally, Flynn sighs. I sigh at his signature expression, like Carl's shrug.
Sorry, I'm just, like I said, it's been a shitty day.
It's fine. That's when Janice brings our drinks, before taking out a notepad out to take our orders.
All right, what'll you have?
The tuna melt, onion rings.
Uh-huh. And you, Chase?
Kind of want to have the tuna melt.
Yeah.
Alright, 2 tuna melts?
Sure.
We're an otter, dude. We'd love a tuna melt.
Fair.
I'll get the tuna melt too.
Alrighty. And what do you have on the side?
Onion rings. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Steal his order.
Steal it.
I want him to get pissed at us.
I mean, we should have ordered water earlier then.
Eh,
Yeah, but there's a strawberry shake.
it's true.
we want to.
We have to be a little bit
We
different.
have morals and principles when it comes to trying to fuck with people. It is that if there's a strawberry shake online, we'll abandon our plans. But if there isn't, then all hell breaks loose.
Exactly.
I think it's funnier you order something different and then you start ordering the same shit.
Grow
That
them up a
fucks
little
with
bit.
people.
Onion rings, please. Flynn is staring at me in a weird, squinting sort of way, as if he's trying to see something.
Great. I'll have it right over. Sit tight.
As Janice bustles away, I look to the side, and then back at Flynn. What? Flynn keeps squinting, his face incredulous now.
You really not.
He doesn't finish, and instead shakes his head.
Never mind.
Seriously, you're kind of freaking me out. Flynn chuckles and covers his eyes again, rubbing.
Same.
What the hell is he talking about? I'm opening my mouth to ask him again, but he cuts me off.
Listen, I've got the day off tomorrow. Do you want to do something?
I stare at him, at a loss for words. First he's acting like a complete douche, then he's telling me I'm scaring him, and now he's inviting me to hang out with him? Is he, what do you call it, bipolar? I guess?
Alright, I'll come by some time afternoon, maybe with Carl. He doesn't do shit, so he should be free.
Okay, I guess I could use a break from working on the project for a bit. Flynn goes on to tell me that he and Leo often go out to fish on their days off, and it's actually a lot of fun. I'm still trying to get used to the shift in conversation when Janice shows up with our food. Flynn stares down at his giant greasy sandwich while I take a giant bite out of mine.
Fuck, I'm gonna regret this.
Why? Tastes great.
Well, you're lucky. This kind of food fucks up my stomach.
Do you make your own food?
Yep.
I snort, and Flynn looks up sharply. Sorry, it's just hard to imagine.
Hey, I'm a really good cook.
I guess the expression on my face is showing I don't buy it, because he smirks back at me.
Fine, sometime this week you're coming over. I'll show you then.
I shrug, even though I feel like I've won some kind of secret battle we're having. Deal. Flynn pulls me over the rocks and boulders. I stumble along, trying to keep my balance. Flynn's insistent though, almost angry. We reach the edge of the lake, and he throws me down. I stare at the wet sand, then back up at Flynn. He points and tells me to dig. I start digging. I don't know what I'm looking for, and I ask, but Flynn doesn't say anything. Water keeps filling the hole. It's hard to keep sand from sliding back in. Finally, I reach in deep, and someone grabs my paw. I stay like that for a long time. Oh, neat. All right. Well, we made it through all of Tuesday for Flynn.
Right.
Dang.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and save so that way we know. Okay, let's see here. We should have like a system for knowing who's who. I'm going to go with what the recommended order was for saving these. So let me see. What was the recommended order again? That's not the card I'm looking for. Where's my cards? No, my notes. There they are. All right, so we would want to have Carl, Leo, TJ. This should be Flynn then. And then we'd have Jenna here. And then I can keep the last two for me playing ahead and just checking things out.
Cool.
Every day.
Okay. Well, then I'll go ahead and save this right here, and we can decide if we want to do either Jenna or Leo still.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
All right, say goodbye.
Bye.